Welcome back to the Fanspeak Network, and happy Friday to all. Friday means Friends of Best Ball, and I'm joined by my friend, Tom Strachan. We are going to draft a BBM6 in just 1 minute. That's right. Again, happy Friday. That means Friends of Best Ball. I'm joined by the great Tom Strachan, who this is his third Friends of Best Ball with me, 3 years in a row now. We made the playoffs the first year, didn't last year. Time to get back into playoffs together, Tom. You can, of course, find Tom's work at Fantasy Sanctuary, Fantasy Pros. Links are in the description. I'm sure you're already following him, following his YouTube channel. But if you're not, for some crazy reason, please check it out. Link in the description. How are you doing today, Tom?
Yeah, great. I mean, hey, it's Friday. We're talking best ball. Best ball summer is so hot right now. So what more can we wish for?
Exactly. We got your co-host and our friend Tyler in chat. We got my brother Steve, Fantasy Football Espanol. I assume, is Chase your 1.1 this year?
Yeah, and I think it's been pretty straightforward. There was kind of a brief point where before George Pickens was traded for Cowboys, where I was starting to be like ruminate through my head, like, do we think that CeeDee Lamb 101 is the way to play it? But yeah, now it's just got to be Chase.
Okay, yeah, I'm with you there. If anybody wants to join, I'm going to join a 30-second BBM in here in a minute, because sometimes it does take a while to fill, and then that'll give Tom and I a chance to catch up, ask general best ball landscape questions about hot best ball summer. But if anybody wants to join us, I am pulling it up now. We're going to try the 30-second. For some reason, it's really slow. We can jump over. We can make quick decisions together, go 20-second. But right now, I'm entering a 30-second in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Enter. There are 7 more to start. So we'll see how this goes. Let me bring it over. I am going through some slows right now, so I should be able to easily find this down here at the bottom. And we will see how long this takes to fill. 7 more if you would like to join us. So Tom, where's your favorite part of the draft, of the board to draft? If you had like I want this pick this year.
I love that question, because it's like this is the time in the off season where you've got to be starting to make those stands, isn't it? It's
yes.
Like we've gone through the post draft stuff. We've seen the ADP adjustments. You know, the rookies are starting to fall. Players who we might not have been as confident in before are starting to settle down a bit. And we've seen veteran signs. So it's like now is the perfect storm of like, there's going to be maybe 2 more weeks of calm before things start getting a little bit crazy. And I've kind of found that for me, it's the first 3 or the last 3 in the first round. Like that middle tier of 4 through 9 just feels incredibly flat. Like they're all guys I like. There's nobody really I want to fade. Like Christian McCaffrey was somebody I was taking a bit of a stand against early in the offseason, which is probably incorrect, because now you look at his ADP 8th overall when we were getting him in the second and late second at that at times. And maybe I should have been mixing him in more. But now, once you get to this point, like I just feel this is a really strong set of first round talents. And ideally, if I can walk away in September with 5%, 4% minimum to everybody, then I'd be quite happy.
Yeah, I agree with you, and about that, about the flatness of the first round, and with that, some of them are trickling into the second round. So I really do like the back half of the board. If I get 10 through 12, I'm pretty excited. We're waiting for 4, and it feels like you get 2.
You can build some really interesting combinations which people aren't going to necessarily have come September. Like, because I thought Christian McCaffrey would take till mid-August, or like at least training camp opening up, to get pushed as high as he has done now. So every year we see the running backs edge up a little bit higher. We're going to see Devin Achane, Derrick Henry on the turn. Like, so even now, just getting the combinations we're getting, I think it's a lot of fun.
Oh, I definitely think it's fun. We are getting definitely some unique, fun ones around the turn. So I'm hoping to get that. Yes, I was actually going to mention this tweet. Tyler is on it. Tom getting some much deserved love from Hayden today too. I was going to mention that tweet. I know I liked it. I believe if I didn't retweet, I meant to. But talk about that tweet in particular that Hayden had asked for the data and retweeted.
Yeah, so this kind of stems back from work I was putting in for the Fantasy Pros Best Ball kit.
Mm-hmm.
Like every year, I've probably 4 years now, I've been writing a large part of their Best Ball kit.
Yeah.
And a big part of that comes down to like a lot of the time you're updating stuff, but sometimes you're kind of going back and looking at it and saying, what's changed? Well, how can we apply that to this year? And I think the one which Hayden in particular was referencing was the growth strategy and at the same time the shrinking of strategies. So you go back to 2021 and Hero RB was being done at a point on Underdog when we define it by a running back in the first 2 rounds and then none till after like round 6. It was being
Right.
80% at that point. And Zero RB back in 2021 was being drafted at a rate of 4%. Fast forward to last year, and at that point, Hero RB had fallen down to 50%. It was really a much less popular strategy. Like we knew at the time that people were trying not to get left behind wide receiver. And the flip side of this is that Zero RB was done at a rate of 21% last year. Like 1 in 5 drafts was Zero RB. And where it hit everyone in the face was the fact that Zero RB ended up being the worst possible strategy almost last year.
Right.
Advancement. Now, obviously, like a big part of this comes into, well, do we want to sneak players through? Do we want to get to a point where we have something which is leverage on the field? But Zero RB advance, and this is again defining it as no running back before round 6.
Okay. Right.
Advance rate of 8% last year. And when we talk about the standard advance rate being 16% because 2 teams advance, like you did Zero RB and you made it twice as hard to get a team to the playoffs straight away. It's just, it was a really poor year for Zero RB. But so Zero RB had this steady growth from 2021 of 4% all the way up to 21%. Judging by how it went last year, Meg, if you had to guess, what sort of expectation would you put on what number it'll be at this year?
As far as what percent is going to be Zero RB this year? I mean, it still feels like it's high in the rooms. So wait, what was it? What percent was it last year?
It was 21% last year.
Okay. I'm gonna guess 18% this year. It doesn't feel like it's that much less.
So I mean, you've probably got a better feel for what it's like on Underdog than myself. Like I kind of came back to 12%. I was thinking, maybe that's the number that if we get away from the casual people, the people who were really trying it last year on the back of it being so dominant in 2023. But yeah, I know we're about to pick, so we can come back to that.
Okay, absolutely. So the top of the board based on ADP, we got Puka, McCaffrey, Neighbors, Amon-Ra. Where do you want to go here at pick 8?
I'd go Puka unless you've got a strong stance on McCaffrey.
I do have a strong stance on McCaffrey, but I like to defer to my guest.
Right. Let's go Puka. I just think so. Like the one thing that's been missing from Puka is the touchdowns, isn't it? Like he had 6 in his first year, only 3 last year. I think we're going to see a much more pass-heavy team this year. I think we're going to see a team that's more effective in the red zone. Like you go back and when the Rams lost Todd Gurley, they really were pass heavy in the red zone. And then it kind of changed a bit with Kyren Williams. But I think that Devontae Adams is really going to make it a lot easier for him down there.
Oh, absolutely. No, I agree. I think the addition, that's why I've been off Kyren this year. So no, I agree with you on the pass heavy nature. I mean, some of your crew talking about, we got Rich, good evening. Tom, you do put out like the best data, and I pulled up the tweet quickly and then our draft started. But no, amazing data by you. And I love that Hayden shared that today. So yeah, how much like are you diversifying your portfolio of Zero RB versus Hero RB versus double anchor, even hyper fragile this year?
Yeah, so I think it's quite difficult doing the B build still. I've been trying to mix in some of them because I think the running backs in the first 2 rounds, I really like them as well. So like getting a little mix of that is something I've been trying to do, but equally, and I'm not the first to say this, but this feels like a really good year for zero RB because of all the rookie running backs later, because we've got
Right.
so much value that we can get to. So I don't want to pivot too heavily. So I am trying to stay fairly diverse and mix
Sure.
it up. I mean,
We
uh,
are back here. Drake London, AJ Brown, Lad McConkey, speaking of zero RB, Brock Bowers, Jonathan Taylor. What are you thinking here with Puka to start?
so I'd like to go Brock Bowers unless you think that's too much of a reach.
No, let me make sure cue it. No, I need to get more exposure. I am really not much of an elite tight end girl, but that's why I love doing these Friends of Best Ball, because it helps me, diversify my portfolio. I do believe we need to
Yeah.
all diversify our different builds. That's why I just asked you that question about, kind of what you're leaning into. While I do like the mid to late tight end builds, I do need to, be mixing. I want to make sure I have some exposure, obviously, to Brock Bowers and Trey McBride. My favorite kind of elite tight end is just waiting on Kittle. But no,
Yeah.
I want to make sure I'm getting some exposure there. So Puka, Brock Bowers to start. I that's different for me, and I like it.
Yeah, I can't get past how good Brock Bowers was last year. I mean, we talked about the fact that like he beat the rookie reception record with 112 receptions, which beat Malik Neighbors, beat Puka Nacua before him, beat Jalen Waddle, all that. But he very nearly had the greatest season ever by a tight end in terms of total receptions. Like I think
Right.
only Zach Ertz and Ever Ingram have more. Only Zach Ertz has ever seen more than the 153 targets that Brock Bowers had. Of course, like 18 games, blah blah blah. But it still stands like, and I just think that Geno Smith is going to be so good. I'm not worried about the wide receiver room whatsoever. I think that Jacoby Myers is fine, but I don't see any competition. I just think it's all going to run for Ashton Genty and Brock Bowers. And I think that with the Pete Carroll effect, this is a team which is going to be fun and they're going to be coached well. And then with Chip Kelly, they're going to play fast, and that matters so much for fantasy.
Absolutely. So we did have a Lamar and Ravens over under at ADP. We do have Josh Allen goes, Lamar is there, Terry, JSN, Kyron, Brees Hall. This is based on ADP. Evans, Lamar. Where do you want to go here with pick our third round pick?
Have you got no JSN whatsoever?
I might have him in some slows. So do you want to do JSN?
I want to do JSN. Yeah,
I like it. I like it. I'm sure I do. So I have a bunch of slows going on right now. I probably have 30 some slows. I also have a bunch. This is obviously just the classic contest of exposures. I got best ball overlay to help me manage my exposures. Obviously seeing team correlation, playoff correlation. But I'm doing a bunch of marathon, sprint, eliminator. That's not going to show up in here. And then I do have like probably 30 or 40. I've got all those German Shepherds finishing. So I have a lot of other poodles and other slows. So I probably have like 30 of like even just classic contest slows. So I wouldn't say the data is totally accurate to what I'm fully drafting now, because I'm Baker's someone I'm really high on, and I think it shows like 2% right now, which I can just assure you it won't be 2%. So
yeah, I mean, I like JSN. The moves that the Seahawks made, I don't feel like they made him a bad pick in any way. I'm expecting the Seahawks to be quite run heavy. I felt like that was the area that they really wanted to lean into. But
before our next question, did you want to predict this? I think some of your friends are smashing over under 2.5 Ravens picked by Tom.
I mean, look, we've got them all on the board. We've got
exactly.
Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, Keaton Mitchell, Tess. We can absolutely run with this one.
Okay, so we're one pick away again here. Lamar and Jane Daniels do go. And then I'll get to those in the chat. Based on ADP, we've got Tet, DJ Moore, James Cook, Worthy, Metcalf, Devonta Smith, Marion Hampton. Where are you liking on the board here?
I just love Tet.
I'm right at the field
like
right
the
now.
piece for the Panthers that's just going to absolutely unlock it. I love that they made that a priority when there was plenty of places they could have gone.
Sure.
But
yeah,
I think that's going to make Bryce Young's life so easy. And between JSN and Tet, I think that we've got high volume receivers. Obviously, Puka is a high volume receiver, and
Yeah.
then Bowers is a high volume receiver as long as Geno doesn't crap the bed. So, all in all, like obviously that could matter slightly more in full PPR than in half PPR, but it's like these are people who are going to demand big target shares.
So Steve agrees with you with obviously the Bowers coaching and QB upgrade. Thoughts on the Seahawks coach from our guy Tim in chat? Too early to tell. I mean, I think he's a good coach. I think they obviously now have changed offensive coordinators again, so I think that will be very telling and interesting. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that it's going to be, Chip Kelly is going to run the offense quickly. Tom Brady seems to have a huge influence in what's going on there. And I think that can only be a positive thing for the way that they build out that offense. I think that we're going to see Geno bounce back from last year. Last year, it felt like him and DK weren't on the same page. Tyler Lockett was getting old. The offensive line was a real problem. Now, I'm not saying that the Raiders' offensive line's fantastic, but I think that it can be good. And I think that we can see Geno pushing the ball. I mean, Geno's so good even when under pressure at delivering big time throws. And I think it's something that he doesn't get enough credit for. So yeah, I'm excited for another good year of Geno.
Okay. No, I am too. I'm looking forward to the Raiders offense a lot for sure. Have you taken much Genty early?
I've taken a decent amount of Genty. Yeah, I don't really understand a reason to fade him. Like it's been
right.
We'll come back to that.
Yeah, so top of the board at ADP, bunch of running backs: Chuba Hubbard, Waddle, Walker, Kamara, RJ Harvey, Dunze. What are you liking here with our 5th round pick?
I like Jalen Waddle. I think that I know I'm pushing us into a proper zero RB build.
That's okay. We talked about it from the top, so might as well. I like it. So we start 0-4-1. I don't know if you saw this. My dad was roasting Steve and I on our chat about bye weeks. We do have 2 week 8 buys. So if my dad's watching, he's probably upset about that. But no, I have to have him on sometimes because he's hilarious about bye weeks. But no, a fun 0 RB start for sure.
Yeah, and I just think that the Dolphins, their defense is going to be so poor. It's like me and Tyler talked about. It's like name a Dolphins cornerback when Jalen Ramsey gets traded. It's like it's Storm Duck and then nobody else, and most of us only know Storm Duck because his name's great. So if that's a team which is poor, and then Waddle averaged 4 more PPR points per game when Tua was out there last year. Tua was 3rd in the league in pass attempts per game when he was healthy. So yes, we're counting on Tua to be healthy, but I'm okay taking that bet.
What's going on, Al Boogie? Always good to see you in chat. So just a quick mention. I recognize Biff Tannen. I'm not sure if he's in chat with us. P Punch was in chat and the draft with us last night. We, of course, at the 8 spot, Legion 13, Paul is in with us. So might just be Paul in chat and the draft with us, but P-Punch, Biff Tannen, let us know if you are in the chat with us or if you just happen to get in our room. Maybe they just happen to get in our room.
But yeah,
sorry, go ahead. Finish what you were saying about that because I cut you off.
No, I'm just saying Jalen Waddle's somebody I've been trying to draft as much as possible, and maybe it pushes it into a quite RB heavy second half of our draft, but I just think that the value's there.
Yeah. I need to get more on Waddle because I'm kind of out. I haven't been in on Tyreek Hill, so I feel like if you're out on Tyreek Hill, you kind of got to be a little more in on Waddle, and so I need to get around on that. Still time. Top of the board here: ADP, Harvey, Henderson, Connor, Judy, Debo, David Montgomery. What are you thinking? Did you want to take first running back here, or is anything else standing out to you?
Yeah, I'd be okay with running back. I mean, I don't tend to draft RJ Harvey, but 8 picks past ADP, 9 picks past ADP, that feels fine to me. Are you on board with that?
Yeah, I'm on board with that. Yeah, I mean, I think I have 5. Again, I think I have more. When you do so many slows, it isn't totally accurate about what your current exposures are. So it feels like I'm taking RJ Harvey more than the 5 or 6% it said I had. But no, I like him getting him there at past ADP. I know Sean Payton can split up the workload, but I just think he could be an explosive piece to that offense. So I like that.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're building a 0 RB team, you're building for those final weeks, and you're building that powerhouse to come good by the end, and betting on the running backs to peak at the end, and that feels like a fair estimation of what we can get from RJ Harvey. The reason I wasn't drafting him early was like pick 50, early 50s always felt a little steep. And then now, like, I mean, obviously I like J.K. Dobbins. I think that he's still a reasonable value, but he's just not a guy who's been able to stay healthy. Even last year when he hit 1,000 yards and hit career highs in a variety of stuff, he still missed a few games. So RJ Harvey, if he continues to fall, will be somebody that I target more and more as the summer goes on.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And like you said, it's kind of the evolution of best ball summer is, the rookies rise, the rookies fall. Then we have the camp news rise and fall. We are in that lull period right now, as you said from the start. And, right now I feel like we're just kind of, which God bless Coach Speak Index. I absolutely love that. But really, we're just kind of, judging on any kind of short-term injuries or guys coming back from injury, news on that, or Coach Speak. So it'll be fun in the next few weeks to get some real news. We do have Pete Punch in here and Legion 13. So we do have two drafters with us. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. If you're coming in, hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed to the Fanspeak Network, please do. We are having basically best ball shows pretty much almost every day of the week. Steve will be on tonight talking ball with Steve of Speak at 8 p.m. Probably going to draft some poodles and pit bulls, so be sure to join him tonight. And we are back up. This draft is moving fast.
It is.
Per ADP, we've got Quinshon Judkins. I pronounce names terribly. Judkins, Ricky Pearsall, Sam Laporta, Aaron Jones, Josh Downs, Patrick Mahomes, Darnell Mooney. What are you thinking here?
My call would be Ricky Pearsall or Josh Downs.
I like Ricky Pearsall. I do love Josh Downs too. I like them both a lot. I know I have way more Ricky Pearsall than 8%, but do you have a lean here?
Maybe just slightly towards Pearsall, but nothing big. Yeah.
Okay, great. I really like Pearsall. I mean, it sounds like Ayuk's going to start on PUP. I don't know how he's going to come back. He's been a big fade for me. So I like that a lot. 0151 RJ Harvey is our anchor. 5 receivers. Puka, JSN, Tet, Jalen Waddle, Ricky Pearsall, Brock Bowers have plenty of stacks to build out as far as quarterback options. Coming up at 89, I'll just keep it here because this draft is cooking. So top of the board, Mahomes, Mooney, Ayuk, who we talked about, Hawkinson, Brian Robinson, Mbuka, Kupp, Pittman. Don't think we need to go towards quarterback yet. A lot of them are later unless you wanted to. Purdy would be probably the first one to look at, but that's still kind of early there. Where are you thinking here?
Last year I really liked Brian Robinson. I know that this year they didn't bring any competition. I thought that he was a bit of a low ceiling play. But I wouldn't mind taking Brian Robinson just as a
I think for this type of build, that makes sense. Yeah. I haven't taken him really much. As a Washington fan, I honestly thought he was going to get replaced because he's in this contract year.
It felt so obvious that they might want to upgrade the room and then they didn't spend anything on it. But maybe they get slightly better out of him this year. But if he is a lower ceiling play.
Sure. Yeah. But for this type of build, I think that's fine.
We just try to lock in 8-9 points a week minimum so that then we can shoot for the upside as the season goes on.
Right. Absolutely. We got Disbanded Brotherhood in chat. Always good to see you. My brother's joking with me. I'll try not to bully you, but where are you on Cam Scatabo? Steve said 90% chance I'll try to bully you. I'll try not to. And then Paul says, if you want to let Purdy fall, I wouldn't hate it. So he's obviously got a 49ers stack going on as well. Where do you stand on Scatabo versus Tracy? Or are you taking both?
I'm kind of taking both, to be honest. I think, Tracy played himself out of some more touches towards the end of last year with the fumbles and stuff. And Scatabo, I really like. I think that he's a really fun prospect. But I also don't think it's necessarily going to be as clean as just the two of them. I think Devin Singletary, for all the reasons at this time last year, we were talking about Brian Daboll loves Devin Singletary. They've worked together since Buffalo. I just think that Singletary being completely written off could end up leading to a little bit more of a three-headed field at times, which exactly, is a complete nightmare for us. Yeah. So Hopefully not, but yeah, I
But
don't
I know
mind
it's
either of them.
concern. Yeah, I obviously am Team Scatabo. I don't think I have much Tracy, and I know I need to take a little. Steve's even said that, even though he was the one that got me hooked on Scatabo after the college football playoffs and his big board drafts first starting. But no, I know I need to take a little. But yes, definitely love the ways that Scatabo could get involved in multiple ways. But I will try not to bully you. We will be back up at 104 and 113 here. Let's see, we have a coming into the quarterback range here, but a 0-2-5-1 of our stacks. Is there any? I mean, a lot of these are later quarterbacks, but are there any stacks that like you would really like to get the quarterback with when we have Bowers, Pearsall, Waddle, Tet, JSN, Puka?
Not necessarily. I mean, I'm a sucker for Matthew Stafford at the minute. I think
Right.
2 is kind of fine. But like Meg, like let's not bury the headline. 43% Scavo.
It worked for me the year. Again, this is only through 36 drafts, so it's still time to even it out. And we don't need to take him here. Tyrone Tracy is ranked ahead, but no, what would you like to do here?
I want to take Scavo. I mean, like, look, if you've got that much conviction, Meg, I want to take Scavo.
I do. I really love it. Now we're at, starting 0-3. We're already at 0-3-5-1 here. So I'm feeling really good about that. We did get week 2, week 12 buys, which, I'm surprised my dad hasn't chatted in and crushed us on that yet. So no, I do like the Scatabo pick. The year that, and I always blame Steve for this because I mean he's like my rookie whisperer. But the year that Laporta got drafted to the Lions, literally that night of day 2 of the draft, he was like, "Oh, this, he's going to be excellent in this offense, have the role that." And I just went all in, and I ended up with 50%. He was anywhere from round 18, and then, but he peaked out at like 12 or 13 round Laporta. And I ended up with 51%, and it worked out. I mean, it didn't work out because I needed him in the semifinals, and I had him in all my semifinals teams, and he dudded, and that didn't work out. But I think the later it is, you can get a little more aggressive. I'll try to even it out, but yes, the conviction is there, and I blame Steve.
Hey, I'm not knocking it at all. In fact, I've been working on something the last few days about like Sam Laporta's rookie season, Brock Bowers, like those guys smashed and anything.
Oh, yeah.
Them.
Yeah. Okay. So at top of the board, obviously, we do have some quarterbacks: Najee, Charbonnet, Burden, Javante, Tyler Warren. Where are you thinking here?
Unless there's a particular stack, I'd be leaning towards Zach Charbonnet. I just think we get that little team correlation with JSN.
Yeah, great point.
That if both of them are seeing high volume in the same week, that maybe it's come from behind script and that they're having to play catch up. I like that idea.
I like that. I think that works really well. And again, we've kind of are working our way to catching up at running back here. So I like that as well. Again, we were kind of set up to, kind of 3 mid to later quarterbacks. So I think it makes total sense. Let me catch up with chat really quick. Mike Robb was testing Steve for Best Ball Jeopardy, but I don't see Scat getting many touches. I think I'm the only one. I hope you're wrong on that one. Paul is 58% Scatabo through 33 BBMs. I draft with Meg to save me from myself. That's great. I absolutely love that, Paul. And Paul is in the right behind us at the 9 spot. So he did get Purdy, which he had mentioned, stacked up with George Kittle, started Neighbors, BTJ, Breece Hall, George Kittle, Chuba, and then got Purdy. So I like where Paul's going there. Glad I could save you from yourself and take Scatabo from you, and you got the Purdy stack.
Meg, where are you at on like QB builds this year? Because I know 2 years ago you were kind of free QB builds. Have you kind of moved away from that a little at all? Or are you still quite heavily on the free QB train?
No, I might be further, Tom, and this is why. So the Bulldog Finals team I had: Dak Prescott, Justin Herbert, Aaron Rodgers. Now my running back room was insane, and so I probably still would have made the playoffs, even with Dak's injury and just those 2 quarterbacks. However, no way I would have made the finals had I just had one or the other, like Dak and Herbert or Dak and Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers believe it or not, scored 30 point some points week 15. That's what got me to the semifinals. And then Herbert got me counted semifinals and finals. So if anything, I'm even further down the road of the 3 quarterback, because my 2 finals experiences have been both Dak injury teams, and both wouldn't have made the finals had I not had a 3rd quarterback. So it's like anecdotal stuff, right? But it's, it's real. You want to get freaked out by another one? 37% Drake May through 36 completed drafts. I'm obsessed, but
I love it. If we took Colston Loveland, would that work on bye weeks?
Let's see. Yes, 8 and 5. Yes.
I'm slowly becoming very enamored with both Colston Loveland and Tyler Warren, and I feel like
I am too.
I want one of them as often as possible. And even with Brock Bowers, I think that we can just leave it and just say that
we're definitely
go 2 tight end, and then we'll just hit quarterbacks and the rest all the way.
Yeah. So 0, 4, 5, 2 done at tight end, up in 6 picks. Just checking to see if any stacks are approaching. Now, I'm just going to throw this out there for you. If Drake May fell back to us the way. Okay. I was going to say that I know I have an obsessive amount here, and then I'm bullying you twice essentially, but I don't understand why. I think he's like just going to could be that, mid-round quarterback cheat code where he's got the rushing upside as well. He had no design rushes last year, and I'm really excited to see Drake May this year.
Yeah, and I just kind of think that guys like Drake May, you can take, and you don't need to worry about the stack. And then you can look at Kayshon Boutte later on. Like Kayshon Boutte had his moments last year. Like, you want to get completely wild, you can look at Jalen Polk, a guy who there was plenty of hope for. I know he's not necessarily standing out in training camps and stuff like that, but
Hunter Henry. Hunter Henry seemed to be his go-to guy. Okay, so Legion third, our guy Paul takes Lawrence. You want to snap pick May?
We got to take him there. Like when you get him the ADP value of what, like 20 spots, like
117. Yes, literally 20 spots exactly. I don't get it, and so that is a snap pick for me. I'm obviously willing to take him ahead of ADP, but I also am going to definitely take him, and that's probably why I have so much of him. But he is just that, like, we're getting that rushing upside at that point of the draft feels so nice. So, I wouldn't be shocked if he had, what did he have, like 3 or 4 rushing touchdowns last year?
That sounds right, yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if that at least doubled, if not more, if they're doing more designed runs. So, I'm excited about that. And then we still have plenty of stack options with Stafford and Geno and
Tua, Sam Darnold. Like we've got plenty of ways out at this point,
Yeah. Okay, let's see. So we got Sladen in here. Good to see you. I got 20% Tracy and 15 Scatabo between them and Najee. I usually get a running back in that range pretty much every time. That makes sense. And those are good ones. I feel like those are fine ones to attack. Mike Robb always gives me a hard time about my Scatabo. So he's got Scatabo conspiracy theories going on here. We got Paul, who's drafting right next to us. I played myself, which I have done this before too, taking Purdy. Then you have the same buy as May. I've done that before as well. Steve says 20 spots of ADP value on Drake May. Pretty nice. So feels good for sure. So we'll be back up at 152, 13th round pick here. Let's see. So 1452 off ADP. Obviously, Besh is falling. Jaden Blue, Quentin Johnston, Tua is there. Austin Eckler, Romeo Dubs, Bryce Young, Kyle Pitts, Tank Bigsby. Where are you thinking?
My lean would be towards Tua, and then maybe seeing what happens in the next round. Because sitting with 5 wide receivers, with the way that we took them, I'd be completely fine. Maybe only adding one more to them.
Yeah,
how things play out anyway. So I'm not feeling the need to force Jack Besh. Like I feel like this is time to buy Jack Besh if you believe in Jack Besh, but in my opinion, this offense is going to be really condensed, and I just wasn't really ever interested in Besh.
Yeah, I was worded. Did I miss Matthew Stafford went really early here, 127. So I was like, where'd Matthew Stafford go? He's not there. So just to keep an eye on it, I did just to keep an eye on and queue up Gino and Darnold, both week 8 bye, and we have 14 and 12. So that would be totally fine. Either one of those coming up in 6 picks at 161. It is near Gino's. Do you want to go there, or do you want to just try to push it and like target Darnold, hope he comes back?
Yeah, let's push it, because we could always take Darnold a little bit ahead of ADP if we needed to. I mean, if Bryce Young made it around another round, then I'd be fine. But like, we've got 3 potential guys, so there's nobody that.
Oh, that's right. We have Bryce Young too. I apologize. Yeah,
that's all right.
He does have week 14, but
yeah.
I mean, we have 3 quarterbacks. So okay, so 161 then. What are you thinking here? ADP, Quentin Johnson. I just queued up, obviously, running back, receiver. Quentin Johnson, Tank Bigsby, Pat Bryant, McMillan, Roshan, Jalen Wright, Adam Thielen, Braylon Allen.
Why don't we go Roshan Johnson with Ricky Pearsall for that kind of week 17 correlation? Just give ourselves that, because it's higher up. There you go.
Yep.
Because like, Roshan, to me, like, I know that we're getting further and further towards the season, and DeAndre Swift still has all these potential touches, but I just can't get past how many times DeAndre Swift has played himself out of the job. Even if we got a kind of like the diet version of Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery from Swift and Johnson,
right?
Then if Roshan Johnson's getting goal line work, if we got 8 touchdowns out of him in a year at this point in the draft, then that would feel like a good result. So I'm quite happy to take Johnson. I know he's been probably the biggest riser in just raw ADP since drafts open, but I don't see any reason to stop taking him.
No, I was really waiting to see what happened with the draft with the Bears, and then I'm now trying to get more Swift Johnson. Steve has me even clicking some Kyle Monangai as in these time box tournaments as like a late click. Just to get like a low own. But yeah, I think a couple of them are going to hit. And, I was surprised not more was added, but now I'm definitely trying to catch up on Roshan for sure.
Yeah. Are you taking much DeAndre Swift?
I'm taking some. I'm just starting to get around on that too. Just starting to get around on him, have been taking more Roshan. So I'm taking some. I don't think I'll be overweight Swift, but I am taking some. There's still some skepticism. I don't know that I just am concerned there. So,
yeah.
Okay. So all the quarterbacks do go. We have Tank Bigsby, Devin Neal, Jalen Noel, Keenan Allen, Darius Slayton. What are you thinking here with the 2-5-5-2?
I quite like Jalen Noel, to be honest. I think that, again, it's kind of a later season play. We're not expecting him to see something too soon, but like the Texans have a week 6 bye. So if we see a post bye week bump for him, then that's fine. It'll still come nice and early on in the season. And it gives us a player who, once we're past week 6, when the majority of our wide receivers start hitting their bye weeks and it becomes difficult, we potentially have him seeing an expanded role as the season goes on. And Christian Kirk, I think, has 1 season where he's managed to play more than 14 games across his career.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree with that. Noel's another one I'm trying to catch up on. I'll throw out 2 quarterbacks here. Since we did start late, May to our other queued up ones did go. Daniel Jones, don't really need to overforce a stack because I do think a lot of it will come on the ground. And then if you were looking for that, if you do believe Jackson Dart's going to get that late run, you would do have Scatterbo with either one. If we wanted to tack on, one that correlates. Obviously, Jones would be maybe here because I don't know that he'd come back. Dart would probably be the next round. What were you thinking on that, or is there something else on the board that you're seeing?
Well, why don't we? I was going to say Hunter Henry, but we don't need 3 tight ends here.
Yeah.
In terms of running back, anything there that's standing out to you? I know we've only got 15 seconds, but I do like
Will Shipley, but
Yeah, I'd be good with Will Shipley or DJ Giddens.
Do you want to go there or Jones?
Let's go Will Shipley.
Okay, I got it just in time. Okay,
Ooh.
so we do have 2662 up in 13. So our last two picks are 200 and 209. And so we can decide from there. I think we have some flexibility with 2662. Maybe we could tack on, sorry, what were you thinking?
Well, I was just going to say, I mean, worst case, if we ended up with no quarterback here, it doesn't feel disastrous.
No, because I think you and I are both very high on Drake May, and then obviously we have Tua correlated and stacked and everything too. Steve says, my philosophy is 2 of the 3 Bears backs are going to have fantasy value, so I want exposure all 3. Is that how you, or have you gone into Kyle Monangai now? Are you sounds like mostly highest on Roshan, then Swift?
Yeah, and because I play most of my best ball on 20-round best ball, it's a bit easier to say Kyle Monangai will be a click over there. But I don't mind it. I think that somebody is going to have a role the way that the Bears are going to want to play and the way they're going to try and give Caleb some room to breathe. Will need that, and the way they've reinforced the offensive line, like it just seems like they're going to have to run the ball. And if that doesn't come from DeAndre Swift, then maybe it's Roshan Johnson, maybe it's coming from elsewhere, maybe it just comes from a trade, but they will need somebody. Do you want to just lock in Jackson Dart, or would you prefer take someone else and push it around the corner?
Yeah, we could. I think we could do Dart. It's already correlated with Scatabo, and then we could then decide. I think, like you said, so 3662, May, Tua, Dart, Harvey, Brian Robinson, Scatabo, Charbonnet, Roshan Johnson, Shipley. I think we kind of caught up well. And then Puka, JSN, Tet, Jalen Waddle, Pearsall, Noel, Brock Bowers, Loveland. So really, I think it's what stands out to you here the most. Top of the board, I don't think anything correlates with the Giants. I believe Slayton and everything is gone there. I know Theo John, which we didn't need a tight end, but is there anything that stands out to you as a third click, or excuse me, the 18th round click? It would seventh receiver, Thornton, Yosebas, Coker, Lockett, Adonai Mitchell, Wicks, Io Manor, Roman Wilson.
I quite like Io Manor, to be honest. I'm expecting good things from the Titans. I think that they're a good coaching staff. They've just had a poor time with Will Levis, so I don't mind taking him. I've been generally high on them across the board. Otherwise, it would be whether we take a running back, and I'm not very good at taking more running backs than wide receivers normally, but guys like Dylan Sampson, who's been rumored to play out the slot more, or Keaton Mitchell for that just complete home run. I know we haven't taken a single Raven yet.
We would take a single Raven. We could just stay on brand there.
Yeah. But in general, yeah, I mean, my lean would be towards Elikai Manor. I just can't get away from the fact that we start more wide receivers every week.
Okay. So, up into, I don't really see any other Io Manor does go. Is there any other receivers that stand out to you? Roman Wilson is a click I like, but that might just be trying to make up for last year. I don't see anything else massively correlated. MVS is another late round receiver. Or we could go Mitchell, to stay on brand. What are you thinking?
No, let's go MVS, because I've talked about it on Fantasy Pros Best Ball Show this week. We were talking about dart throws late on in the draft and the people who we haven't seen it from that we project it from. And meanwhile, you've got MVS, who's playing with some of the same coaching staff that he's been playing with over the last few years at points, and we saw him be incredibly relevant. I'm not necessarily sure we're going to see that level again, but I think that there's a job to be earned there, and it gives us that correlation between.
I was going to say we got a skinny stack here with Puka week 16, Carolina Tet week 17. So I kind of like having those skinnies built in as far as playoff correlation as well.
Yeah, I mean, what more could you wish for in an 18th round dart throw?
Yeah,
that kind of correlation.
Yeah, and like you said, you've talked about MVS, we've talked about MVS, or you've written about MVS. So I think that makes a ton of sense for the 18th round click there. Paul said drafting right next to us. Dart was not going to come back to us, so that worked out well. I appreciate you, Fancy Dog, always hitting us with the likes. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. Let's go through our team, Tom, and then the two other teams in the draft with us. So we were from the 8th spot, 3672. Drake May, big fall, love it. Tua stacked with Waddle, Dart stacked with Scatabo. Then we got RJ Harvey, Brian Robinson, Cam Scatabo, Zach Charbonnet, Roshan Johnson, Will Shipley, Puka, JSN, Ted McMillan, Jalen Waddle, Ricky Pearsall, Jalen Noel, MVS as our final pick, a little skinny stack there, and of course Brock Bowers, Colston, Loveland. I think we did a good job. You kind of talked about zero RB from the jump, and I think we built a pretty good zero RB team. How are you feeling about it, Tom?
Yeah, I love it. I think, there's lots of little team stacks like where it's Roshan Johnson and Colston Loveland, or the others along the way where you just got those little bits like Charbonnet and JSN where it's like, okay, well, if these teams hit their over-under projected totals for given weeks, then we should be seeing those points spread around. We don't need to worry necessarily about having quarterbacks. That's something Pat Crane talked about last year, that when teams do well, it's just worth having exposure to them. So I feel really positive about it. Maybe the QB situation is a little bit shaky. 2 QBs on a week 14 bye, one of them being, leaving Tua as the sole quarterback. But I just think we have so much upside in Drake May that his floor is so high. And if the Dolphins defense is terrible, then we're just basically carrying Tua along. And if Jackson Dart gives us anything, then it's great. Right. Maybe we could have got by without Jackson Dart, but I'd like to have that quarterback option for the playoffs in playoff best ball.
Absolutely. And we did, and again, some skinnies like Jackson Dart plays and Scatabo play Vegas week 17. So there's a lot of skinny stacks built within there as well that I like as well. So, okay, let's check out the two other teams. Pete Punch was in the draft with us at the 4 spot, 3663. Baker Mayfield, Justin Herbert, Bryce Young. That's a fun quarterback room. Joe Mixon, Travion Henderson, DeAndre Swift, Najee Harris, Braylon Allen, Dylan Sampson, CeeDee Lamb, Lad McConkey, Marvin Harrison, DJ Moore, Mbuka, and Leggett, and then Ferguson, K. Dotton, Theo Johnson. So
stacks.
Yeah, stacks. That's what I was just going to say. I really like a lot. Every room feels fun. I think, draft capital wise, it made sense how he built the 3663. And very, very correlated and stacked. I like that team a lot, but no surprise from P Punch. And then our guy Paul, Legion 13, was drafting right next to us at the 9 spot, 3672. So we've got Brock Purdy, Trevor Lawrence, Tyler Shuck, Breece Hall, Chuba, Quinshon Judkins. Always struggle with that name for some reason. J.K. Dobbins, Justice Hill, Marshawn Lloyd, Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas, Chris Olave, Michael Pittman, Trey Harris, Adam Thielen, Keenan Allen, and George Kittle, Pat Freiermuth. He got the Kittle, Purdy, he got the Lawrence, BTJ, and then tacked on.
It just feels like cheating to be able to get Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas in the same draft.
I know.
So nice.
I know, yeah, and that's why one of the things we talked about from the jump. Where do you like drafting from? That late round. Now, and in this draft, Brian Thomas fell all the way to 16 for him. That's really nice. So love this team as well. As always, when you do these stream drafts, it might be tough to get out of these rooms drafting with some sharp people, but very fun nonetheless. Tom, tell us what you have coming up for on Fantasy Sanctuary, Fantasy Pros. What's going on the rest of Best Ball Summer for you?
Yeah, so let's see. We've got Pat Crane on with myself and Tyler on Monday night. So that'll be 5:30 p.m. Eastern. We go live. We'll be picking Pat's brain, jumping in the BBM draft, which is sure to be a lot of fun. I have a video coming at some point next week talking about the change in how rookie tight ends have gone from being just a complete stone zero to slowly trending into one of the best picks you can make in fantasy over the last few years, and whether we could expect to see the same from Loveland and Warren. Richard's got plenty of dynasty content there. Mondays on Fantasy Pros Twitch channel, we live stream every week, myself and Andrew Erickson. It's been a lot of fun doing that, and just generally it's just busy season. I think I've got 10 articles due in the next 2 weeks, so lots to be on with.
Wait, how many articles 10 articles in the next 2 weeks?
Yeah, oh yeah. I think since the start of last month, I've wrote 50 articles. It's just like it's a constant churn. Yeah, it's just best ball season. Just got to keep filling it up.
That's right. 'Tis the season as well. Tonight, check out Talking Ball with Steve O'Speak. He'll be drafting probably poodles, pipples, the different dog breeds that are currently available on Underdog Fantasy, 8 p.m. Eastern. Check out that with Steve. Steve and I are going to be taping a marathon strategy video that will be up on our channel by tomorrow as well. And of course, check out our Substack, link in the description, $34.99 for the year. For articles from Steve and I, rankings from Steve and I, and all the different fun formats. So I think that covers it, Tom. It's been a pleasure as always. Always love drafting with you, talking best ball with you. I think we built a good team. I'm excited about it. So be sure to follow Tom, Fantasy Sanctuary, all the fun stuff he has coming up. This has been a great time. Thank you guys so much for joining us in chat. For Tom, I'm Meg, and we will see you next time.